they can overcome this challenge. So these are some of the, if you look at the climate disasters which the United States of America have faced, and billions of dollars of losses were there, and because of those losses, America faced billions of dollars of losses. So if you look at this particular map, you will understand. Like for example, Hurricane Harvey, it cost America $198 billion. Hurricane Irma cost America with $65 billion. Hurricane Maria cost America with $102 billion. And there are many other serious natural disasters which seriously impacted on the environmental security of the United States of America. Pakistan, India, we are also prone to these threats because extreme weather conditions have taken place in our region as well. Heavy monsoons resulted in 2009 and 10, heavy floods in Pakistan. So security is another important aspect is the regional security as part of a security complex. Security is a relational phenomenon because the security is relational. One cannot understand the national security of any given state without understanding the regional and international pattern of security interdependence in which it is embedded. For example, if you want to analyze Pakistan's national security, you need to look around its region. For example, China, India, Afghanistan, and then Iran. So you'll understand all these countries. So right now, Pakistan is facing serious traditional security threats from India and non-traditional security threats from Afghanistan in the shape of TTP and other terrorist organizations, ISKP. The most important factor is enmity among states. In other words, relationship between states that can represent a spectrum from friendship or alliances to those marked by fear. According to Buzan, the concept of amity and enmity cannot be attributed solely to the balance of power. The issue that can affect these feelings range from things such as ideology, territory, ethnic lines, and historical precedent. So your regional security cannot be understood unless or until you take into account your own security and the security of your neighbors. So in our context, we developed capabilities to counter India, and India developed capabilities just to counter China and Pakistan in both spheres. If you look at Pakistani missile range, it is about 2,750 kilometers, which covers each and every part of India. And Indian missiles also, they reach, the Agni 5 could easily cover each and every part of China as well. If you look at North Korea, they are also trying to improve their missile capabilities, which can take out the American interest in the region and beyond. For example, American bases in Guam, Japan, South Korea, or other parts of the world are under the missile range of North Korea, but they are acquiring more longer range of missile. In the same aspect, just to protect Japan and South Korea from any attack from China or North Korea, any missile attack, the Americans have also come up with different steps. For example, they deployed Patriot batteries in Japan. They got Aegis warship in that particular region close to Okinawa, and they got THAAD in South Korea just to protect themselves from any incoming missile from North Korea. So these are the steps which countries take just to ensure their regional security aspect. Traditional security threat, the state occupies a central place in traditional security framework because state is the primary actor and it faces traditional security threat from other states. In the international system, nations rely on conventional analysis of international relations and form alliances to achieve common security. So look at NATO, look at Warsaw Pact, look at many other alliances which countries carry out, with each other, just to protect themselves from any traditional security threat of their, enemy. In the traditional setting of the world security, without the ability to ensure survival, all other values are vulnerable. So you need to ensure that you are not prone to any attack not prone to any aggressive behavior of your neighbor or extra-regional power. So for that matter, you would acquire more and more capabilities, and you would secure yourself from any other threats. So the primary example of NATO is simple, that America, along with their European allies, they formed this particular alliance just to protect themselves from any external threat from Soviet Union or any other state in the world. So whenever they face any threat, they go to that area and they mitigate that threat. Soviet Union came up with Warsaw Pact alliance, in which Soviet Union, along with Eastern European states, they formed a very strong alliance just to protect their territorial integrity from any aggressive behavior of the US or their European allies. So traditional security threat, basically, state perceived a guarantee security was the military power, and they acquire more and more military power. They improve their military strength. So with this belief that their own military strength will make them secure, most states therefore attempted to build as much as military might as their resources could allow. So if you look at America, if you look at Russia, they spend a lot of money, and they allocated billions of dollars just to improve their overall capabilities. They acquire more and more weapons, and they had a huge manpower, the huge tanks, aircraft, and nuclear warheads. So if you analyze today, they are spending a lot of money just to improve their overall military capabilities. And Pakistan and India, if you take example of South Asian nuclear weapon states, they are also no longer different from other states. They also spend a lot of money just to protect themselves from each other. So quest for military capabilities for traditional security is normal. Countries try to forge alliances and try to get more and more weapons from other states. They develop nuclear weapons, they develop long-range bombers, submarines, and many other weapon and equipment just to protect themselves from any other external threat. And a very important part of traditional security is the alliances, which we have already covered in detail. And this is the reason that countries, they acquire more and more capabilities. So they want to prevent and deter other states from taking any threat from against those states. The primary benefit of alliance is obviously security. Why a country like Pakistan would go for alliance with the United States of America during the Cold War? Because Pakistan at that time feared Pakistan faced serious challenges from a numerically bigger country like India and stronger country like Afghanistan at that time. So Pakistan wanted to be in these alliances just to protect themselves from these countries. So security benefits in mutual defense alliance include chiefly reduced probability of being attacked. So it is mainly primarily deterrence. So when Pakistan was in alliance with the United States of America, at that time, Afghanistan, they never approached Pakistan. And India also in the initial period did not attack Pakistan, especially prior to 65. Greater strength in case of an attack, defense. If any country attacks a particular country, automatically that country would get more and more weapons, equipment to protect themselves from this attack. For example, during 65 and 1971 war, when the United States of America did not come to help Pakistan, India at that time got help from the Soviet Union. So automatically, Indian defense was very strong during that period because they had uninterrupted supplies of weapon and equipment and other support from their ally. Prevention of allies alliance with one's adversary is also very important, and it can protect you from any inadvertent situation. So if you look at the US and Japanese alliance, United States of America is there in Japan, and they are in alliance with North Korea and South Korea and Japan, and giving them extended nuclear deterrence. So this is the reason that US presence has prevented North Korea from taking any aggressive action against Japan or South Korea. So this is something which is very important when it comes to alliances. So United States of America has deployed their their air defense capabilities in this area, as I told you before, like for example, Aegis, Patriot, and GMD and THAAD. All these capabilities are installed in that particular area in East Asia just to protect Japan, South Korea from any aggressive action from North Korea. THAAD, for example, it has got 200 kilometers of engagement zone where it can engage any incoming missile, and it has a notational radar detection range is about 2,000 kilometers. So from 2,000 kilometers, it can detect any incoming missile, and at the 200-kilometer range, it can mitigate that particular threat. So these are the benefits of alliances. Then you got non-traditional security issues, and as I told you before, these non-traditional security issues, they deal with your climate change, your resource scarcity, infectious diseases like coronavirus, and many other, and natural disasters, of course, irregular migration, food shortage, people smuggling, drug trafficking, and transnational crime. So terrorism and all these things. So it comes in the category of non-traditional security threats, and these threats are seriously impacting human security. So non-traditional security threats, they have got common characteristics. For example, the threats are transnational in nature, like for example, terrorism. Their origin, conceptions, and effects, like coronavirus, like food security, like global warming, all these, and of course, the climate change and all these issues. Non-traditional security issues such as resource scarcity and irregular migration cause societal and political instability and hence become threats to security. For example, when irregular migration takes place, in case of Pakistan and Afghanistan, in Pakistan right now, 2.7 million Afghan refugees are there. And of course, they are burden on the economy and they are burden on the other as resources of a country. Same is the case in Iran. 1.7 million Afghan refugees are there in Iran as well. Syrian refugees are there in Europe. They are not even ready to take those refugees. So these type of things are impacting countries at globally as well and regionally. Other threats like climate change are often caused by human-induced disturbances, and they are, by nature, to fragile balance of nature, with dire consequences to both states and societies, which are often difficult to reverse or repair. So we have already discussed that how climate change is impacting on the national security. So balance of power and security is also very important concept in modern times. Balance of power is simple, as I already mentioned, that countries acquire more and more weapon and equipment, maximize their power through alliances, and try to balance against superior enemy. So this is how it works. So balance of power is another issue which is widely taken into account by states to achieve security. At the core of its many meanings is the idea that peace will result when military power is distributed so that no one state is strong enough to dominate others. So you need to understand in the modern system that countries with good military capabilities, with good alliances, they are protected from any external aggression. And countries with weak militaries, with weak alliances, they are being, attacked, and they face all sorts of problems. So that's the reason that countries forge alliances and they balance themselves. And United States of America, of course, and the Russians, they always maintained balance during the Cold War. They acquired more and more conventional capabilities. They acquired more and more nuclear capabilities just to maintain balance. And that was the reason that both states, they never directly engaged each other. And they never fired a single bullet against each other during the Cold War. Although they were involved in proxy wars, like for example, the Korean War, Vietnam War, Afghan War. These were three primary, you can say, domains where both states were engaged indirectly and directly, but they never fired a single bullet against each other as a state. And that was the reason, because they maintained balance of power against each other. China and United States of America in modern times, they are also trying to balance each other in all capabilities. Chinese are, a big economy, big country with a huge population, with huge military, they got numerical strength. But when it comes to technological advancement, nuclear weapons, and all these capabilities, so technologically, United States of America is way ahead. But at the same time, Chinese have the capability just to maintain balance against the United States of America. So this was all about today. Dear students, if you got any question, you can ask now, please. Thank you very much.